So I hope you don't mind that I'm taking you along on my journey here. This little bird, my friend, visits me every morning and sits on the fence and squawks at me and has been squawking a lot lately, and I realized that my bird feeder was empty. So I got to it and filled my bird feeder. But in the process, I was really present in the moment, and the bird seed really inspired me. The whole thing, the feeder, the moment, the weather, everything. And so I filled up a cup of bird seed and brought it back to the studio and wondered, I was curious about how I could use it. Was it the color? Was it the texture? What was it about it that made me inquire about it? And so that's, I guess, the theme for today is to be curious. Allow your curiosity to flourish. Allow it to take you somewhere. Don't hesitate to let it take you on a journey. And I'm taking you on my journey and just kind of letting you see today how I process through an idea. What happens behind the scenes when I get an idea. I take my time, I think it through, I work through some ideas and see what I could do, what could come of it. And sometimes the ideas work and sometimes they don't. And that's all part of the process. All right, my loves, I have been completely inspired by my journey through the yard and the bird feeder, and I thought I would take you along. And I also wanted to just share that being curious about anything is always a great place to start for our inspiration, for our creativity, even if it doesn't end up going where you thought it would go. So when I saw the bird seed, I was really intrigued and kind of contemplated how it would look in a piece of art. Would it even work? Is it stable enough? Would it degrade? Different things like that. But having it in my hand and really kind of processing through that, it gave me so many ideas. So always follow through on the curious part of you, whatever that looks like, and just go with the flow. So where this has taken me is not where I thought I would start. I mean, I brought out my journal and kind of sketched out some ideas and played with the bird seed and put it on, the napkin and kind of touched it and felt it and just really kind of thought it through. And I won't end up using it, but I have it on my table because I'm going to refer to it as I create my own bird seed in my piece. And I'm also not going to use my journal because after I kind of sketched things out a little bit, I decided to actually make it a full piece because I really liked the idea and where it was going. And so all of this started from me having my friend that visits me in the mornings and squawking, letting me know that the bird seed was empty, and then going from there and being intrigued and curious and how would this work, and I like the color and the textures and the size and all these different kinds of things. And this will not only inspire this piece, but more. So the texture of the bird seed, the different, how do I recreate something like that is stable and that can go into art. And so being curious is always a great place to start when we are creating. And just go with the idea, no matter how crazy or ridiculous it might seem. So out here on my table is my piece here, and I just want to go over what I've done so far. So I am working on a 12 by 12 MDF board, and I rolled out a layer of gesso first, and then I kind of quick dried it, and then came back over with my palette knife with my thicker gesso, and to give me some really great texture. Then I got that dry, and I did a wash of Payne's Gray, my Nova Color Payne's Gray, and Winsor & Newton Hooker's Green, and just kind of blended it down. I thought maybe I might actually create a fence and a full scene, but I didn't want to go into all of that kind of detail. I wanted the focal point to be the bird feeder and the cardinal, my friend. And I wanted to put my papers in the branches and the bird feeder. And so I went on a hunt and searched for some stencils. And when I found my stencils, I knew it took me in another direction. And so I went with it. And each inspiration, because the stencils also gave me inspiration as well. So once I did the wash, then I just sketched out my thought, my design, and this is basically what I sketched out on my journal. And now at this point I am ready to kind of build my composition. So I have my cardinal stencil out here, and the stencils that I'm using today will be on sale. I pulled out a couple of birds. I have a couple of bird stencils, but I'm going to use the cardinal because he's my friend. And I'm going to use that. It's like the perfect size. And I could even use some of these branches to kind of stick out. I might do that, just kind of bare branches. And I was, in my yard I have evergreen trees, and I thought about doing the evergreen, but I didn't want it to look winter-like, so I'm just doing green branches. And then I also have out some of my other leaf stencils that I will use, and I'll probably use these as my base and then paint over the top of them. And then for my, and I'm going to use paper for my branches. So I have out here just some vintage papers, and then I have some scraps of papers that are on my desk that I'll use. And I'll use some of the lighter ones to kind of add like my highlight, I think. And then I want to put paper for the top of my bird feeder, and then recreate a look that has the feel. Because I dropped these on here, and I don't want it to look childlike, and this kind of feels like when you painted in grade school or something, or you had, you did pine cone bird feeders or something. And although now that I've got that down there, it looks so great. Maybe if I cover it up with some matte medium. I worry about it degrading in a actual piece. So we'll see once we get there. So that's where I am headed. I'm going to tear out my papers and put them down, and find my paper for the top of the bird feeder, and we will go from there, and then we'll come back and kind of talk about where we're at. Okay, here we are, and I put my papers down, and then I came back and I did a little white wash or light wash with my umber over my papers to blend them in, and I love how it looked. I didn't go all the way to the end because there's going to be leaves down there, and so I didn't feel I needed to do that. I also found a scrap piece of paper and that I had painted on, and cut that out for my top of my for the top of my bird feeder. And then I just stenciled out my cardinal in raw umber, a light raw umber, and I'm going to come back in and paint my cardinal. I'm going to also come back in and create my leaves. I'm going to stencil my leaves, the base first in a real dark sap green color, and then go lighter as I put the other leaves on top. I'm basically putting in all the details in this section. Then I'm going to come back and also add some kind of a wash here to mimic glass or faded glass, and then my base for my bird feeder. And if I put bird seed in, we'll see. But so that's what I've done and where I'm planning to go next. All right, here we are, and I am in love. I love this. Love the tree. I need to add some depth and some work with my bird feeder to really kind of bring it out so that it doesn't look like I've just colored it or copied it. I've got some soft pastels out here. This is a new set that I have that I actually did a review on. And that's on my YouTube channel. And it's also in the membership too. If you're a member, I did this and a whole bunch of other things for product review and comparison. So that's also in the membership. But I'm going to come back in now with some soft pastels and maybe a little additional paint to kind of really add the depth and the drama to this. Really kind of use my charcoal pencil to add some more character and then additional shading. But I'm really pleased with how my bird seed turned out, because look at the color. I mean, it's pretty darn close. I am very happy with how this looks. Very, very happy. I need to, of course, add some detail here and shading and all that kind of stuff to really kind of age the roof a little bit. And I'm going to do that with my soft pastels. I'm going to add highlight with my soft pastels and charcoal pencil and that kind of thing. And then this will be done. I am thinking that I will on these book pages. So let's see. So this one says further inspiration. And I thought that might be kind of cool, like right here. Or I think this one, the unexpected. I think I'm going to go with the unexpected because that's what this was. It was unexpected, or maybe unexpected inspiration. I like it. Okay. So it's perfect. So those last little details with my soft pastels and charcoal pencil, and then I'll shade around the edges, and then we'll call her done. I love it, love it, love it. All right, my loves. I hope you enjoyed today's Sunday Inspiration. It was a little different, but I wanted to take you on a journey today because that's what this was for me. And I also wanted to show you that being curious and following that curiosity and stepping outside our comfort zone and doing things like, just wondering, could I use this bird seed? And I didn't end up using it. However, it inspired the whole thing. And just being present and aware. So, when I went to go feed the birds, I was really in the moment and was truly enjoying my friend who visits me on the fence or the tree branch every single day, and just kind of had my thought process through that. And then with curiosity thinking, what could I create to kind of encapsulate this moment? And then tactilely feeling the birdseed and bringing it in, and actually, because I kept going back to it, I kept touching it, I kept laying it down on my piece because I was curious as to what can I do, how can I use this, how can I allow this to inspire me. And that's what today is all about, being curious and allowing the curiosity to spark inspiration and to go with it. Don't doubt yourself. And that initially was my first response was, are you serious? We're gonna glue down birdseed? We're using birdseed as inspiration? Are we desperate? But don't doubt yourself, because it's always, even if this piece hadn't gone where it did and I didn't absolutely love it, there's always a lesson in our creative time. And so go with your curiosity, go with your gut, and don't doubt yourself, and use everyday moments for your inspiration. All right, my loves, the stencils that I use today will be on sale. All of the supplies will be listed down below in the YouTube description box and down below in the membership as well. And then I'm just going to go ahead and finish this up and do my last little bits of shading and soft pastels and all of that, and I'll call her done. I'm so glad that you were here today, and I hope you enjoyed the project. All right, I'm going to finish her up. Oh, and always, always remember, you are loved.